I'm 82 years old today. I'm sitting in a chair that costs more than my first car, looking out at a garden I paid a man named Hector to plant because my knees gave out 10 years ago. Everyone tells you that the goal of life is to get here, to be safe, to be set. They lied to you. I've spent the last 6 decades being a sensible man. I followed every rule. I checked every box. And now, as I sit here listening to the hum of an oxygen concentrator, I realize that I didn't actually live a life. I just managed a career. I didn't build a soul. I built a portfolio. You think you're being smart by waiting. You think you're being responsible by playing it safe. But safety is just a slow-motion suicide. It is a drug that numbs the pain of being a coward, until one day you wake up and realize you've run out of time to be anything else. I remember 1974. I had this chance to go to Alaska. Some crazy idea with a guy I knew from college tagging wolves, sleeping in tents, living on coffee and adrenaline. I had the gear packed, but then I got the offer from the firm. Benefits, a pension. My father sat me down and said, "Don't be a fool, Arthur. Adventure doesn't pay the mortgage." So I stayed. I traded the Alaskan stars for fluorescent lights that flickered at 60 hertz every second of every day for 40 years. I can still hear that sound, that low electric buzz. It became the soundtrack of my life. I'd sit at that mahogany desk, staring at spreadsheets until the numbers blurred into grey static, telling myself I was doing it for the family. I bought my wife, Sarah, a Lexus for our 20th anniversary. It was pearl white. I remember the smell of that leather, expensive, sterile. I thought that smell was the scent of success. It wasn't. It was the smell of a bribe. I was buying her off so she wouldn't notice I wasn't really there. I was physically at the dinner table, sure, but I was thinking about the Q3 projections. I was checking my pager under the napkin. I thought I was providing. I was actually just an absentee landlord in my own home. The lie finally broke 6 years ago. It wasn't some grand explosion. It was a Tuesday. I was in the middle of a board meeting, arguing about a 2% margin increase, when my chest felt like it was being squeezed by a cold, iron fist. I remember the floor coming up to meet me. The carpet in that boardroom ID walked on it 1,000. I woke up in a room that was too white, under lights that were too bright. There was this rhythmic beep, beep, beep of the heart monitor. It's a lonely sound. It's the sound of your life being measured in digital pulses. Sarah was there, sitting in the corner, reading a book. She looked so old. I'd been so busy securing our future that I'd missed her entire middle age. The doctor came in. He didn't use any fancy words. He just said my heart was tired. Not broken tired. It had spent 70 years pumping blood to a man who was always almost ready to start living. I have 3 ghosts that haunt this house with me now. The first is a door in a small town in Italy. We were there on a controlled vacation 10 days. Pre-planned, Hilton hotels only. We passed this little blue door in an alleyway in Florence. There was music coming from inside, and the smell of roasting garlic and cheap wine. Sarah grabbed my hand and said, "Let's go in." I looked at my watch. We had a dinner reservation at the hotel in 20 minutes. I'd paid for it in advance. I told her we couldn't be late. We kept walking. I still wonder what that wine tasted like. I still wonder who was playing that accordion. I traded a moment of pure magic for a lukewarm steak at a hotel because I didn't want to waste $30. The second ghost is my son's hands. He wanted me to help him build a birdhouse when he was 7. He had the wood all laid out on the garage floor. I told him later. I had a conference call. Later became next weekend. Next weekend became next month. Eventually, he stopped asking. Now he's 40, and we talk about the weather and the stock market. We don't know how to talk about anything else, because I never built the foundation. I didn't want to get sawdust on my suit. Now I have the suit, and I have a son who treats me like a polite stranger. The third ghost is the goalpost. That's the most dangerous one. I told myself I'd quit the rat race when I hit 1 million. Then it was 2. Then it was the VP title. Then it was the beach house. The goalposts keep moving. You think you're running toward a finish line, but you're actually just a hamster on a wheel. And the person spinning the wheel is a ghost of who you were supposed to be. You're watching this. You're probably 30. Maybe you're sitting there thinking you have an infinite supply of tomorrows. You're staying in that job you hate because the dental plan is good. You're not calling that girl because you're afraid of looking stupid. You're waiting for the right time to start that business, or move to that city, or tell your parents to go to hell. Let me tell you something about the right time. It's a myth. It's a fairy tale told by people who are too scared to bleed. The world is designed to keep you comfortable. It wants you fed, sedated, and predictable. It wants you to stay in the lane. But the lane is where the soul goes to rot. Comfort isn't a reward, it's a cage. It's a velvet-lined coffin that you're rebuilding for yourself, one sensible decision at a time. You think the risk of failing is high? Try the risk of succeeding at something you don't care about. That's the real tragedy. To win the game and realize the prize is a handful of ashes. I'm dying. Not today, maybe, but soon. And do you know what I'm thinking about? I'm not thinking about my 401k. I'm not thinking about the awards on my wall. I'm thinking about that blue door in Italy. I'm thinking about the smell of the sawdust in the garage. I'm thinking about the wolf tagging trip I never took. I have all the money I ever wanted, and I would trade every single cent of it to be you right now, just for one day. To have a body that doesn't ache and a calendar that isn't empty. Stop waiting for permission. No one is coming to give it to you. The someday you keep talking about? Look at your watch. It's already 4 p.m. on a Thursday in the middle of your only life. Someday is today. And today is almost over. I'm going to go back to my garden now.